Good evening, folks. I'm your host, Hugh Jass, and welcome to the TNT Network News Hour. Tonight, we're unraveling a story so bizarre it might just shock you to the core. In a shocking turn of events, social media influencer DurkeyTurkey, famed for his extremist takes on teddy bears and eggplants, has been found guilty accepting bribes from meme legend Shillem Dafoe in the form of Nanana tokens. Police arrived outside the Durkey residence to make their arrest, but were unable to find the biggest influencer of Dickwiff Butt. But they found this videotape in the Durkey home, which we will play for you now.
What's up, everybody? DurkeyTurkey here, coming at you with more Dick with Butt news. Sorry, no camera today, guys. I was up working on some stuff late last night, just working on some experiment type stuff, more memes and making more content, and I'm just not feeling myself today. But as always, I'm gonna go over the Dick with Butt price chart now. We're starting to see some resistance right at this level, right here, where I drew this line. Now, what that could mean, we could sit here and bounce off of it and then eventually work our way back up, back to testing this previous all-time high resistance level of this, like, 20 area. This is 4 zeros and a 2. But we got to hold this right here. That's all it is. If we can hold this, and if we can continue to hold this spot right here, we could be set to go back up. But, of course, always never just fully trust these. You know, we could absolutely dip below this at any time. Now, what could make us start to bounce off this resistance and work our way back up? Well, something is happening tomorrow that is a big thing, and that is MEXC. Now, MEXC, for those of you who don't know, it's an exchange. It's not U.S. based, but it is still a larger exchange. It actually, I was looking up some of the volume for it. It does do more volume than Crypto.com, but not quite as much as Coinbase. It's still, I would say, probably not as popular as something like Crypto.com, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. This is a very good exchange to get listed on. And I remember, it just reminds me of back when I first started making YouTube content, and I had mentioned a project that I was in that was similar to Pulse Chain, not exactly, because what I was into was a layer 2, not a layer 1, and that was Polygon. Now, for those of you who don't remember my early videos, this would have been like in my first, like, it might have even been my very first video I talked about this. First, second, maybe third video I talked about this. I was actually very early in on Polygon, before they had any sort of an exchange listing, like a mass exchange listing. So what happened was I was in way down, like in this range, actually even slightly before it. Sometime, I think it was, yeah, sometime in 2019, like around, I want to say like March or April was when I got into it. And this here was the huge run up because of the exchange listing. I think this was the peak of the exchange listing right here. That happened. We got listed on Binance. Now, back in the day, Polygon was not known as Polygon. It was known as Matic. And that was like a huge pivotal moment. Everyone got super excited. And after that, everyone was just like, oh, well, you got to buy the new shiny thing that gets listed on Binance. And then everyone started to get burned after, you know, Polygon's release on Binance. So, but what happened is we peaked right here. It might have even been here. I don't fully remember exactly. It was a while ago, and I had a lot of other projects and stuff going on at the time. So we peaked, and I remember it was around 4 cents. Was around. I literally sold the top of it. It was around 4 cents, and we had peaked, and then we just plummeted down to about a cent. And we stayed in this range for years. Years we stayed in this range. Now, the thing about it was we basically didn't move with Polygon for about 2 years. And so for Pulse Chain, we've only been in Pulse Chain for a year, guys. It's only a year old. Now, What happened afterwards, and the whole thing that I like to say is, don't worry about these exchange listings too much. They're important and they'll bring really bullish things. Like, we could see a potential like massive pump tomorrow, but we could also see a massive dump. So we could see this huge wick where it just goes like straight up and then goes straight back down. But once Bitcoin started reaching, like at the end of 2021, it started reaching around like 28, 29,000. Like a month or so after that, what you found is this right here was where we were sitting for 2 years. And then all of a sudden it just, in February, that sounds about right. In February, we started just absolutely taking off. We went from about 1 cent to almost $3 in half a year. Or no, about a year. And the price action, it went to $2 in about half a year. The price action on it was parabolic. Now, was that because of the exchange listing? No. I would say it had more to do with the adoption of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin cycles, and that was what really drove this huge, massive run up here. And this little bump that you see right here, that was the exchange listing. If you can kind of see it, it just kind of goes, just barely. That right there, I think, was pretty much the exchange listing. So exchange listings are good and they're going to bring adoption, but that's not going to be what makes us really take off. We need to wait and play out that 4-year cycle like we've been doing. It plays out the same every time. Markets don't repeat, but they like to rhyme. I also wanted to share some interesting stuff. Another thing from Mr. Dipcatcher here. He was pointing out some of the holdings with the MEXC wallets, and they hold $1.3 million paper value on Pulse Chain from all their forked copies. Now, maybe what we should do, since they're listing us and since they seem to like us already, is maybe we need to start looking at the tokens that they hold and start looking at parity narratives with the tokens that they hold, because maybe they want to support some of those tokens instead of just dumping on us. Maybe they want to support those tokens, that way people can start trading the PERC or the PRC20 equivalents on their exchange. Maybe that's something some other influencers could talk about. I don't know. I'm just here to share my ideas and what I think would be a cool thing to go for. I thought it was a really cool idea. This is something where, I feel like it's a lot more, now that we have an in with an exchange, this is something we could, work towards as a community, is getting these now next listed on MEXC, now that they've listed Pulse, or are about to. And of course, with Dick with Butt, if and this goes for anything in the Tang Gang, if we do go up tomorrow, we will see that, correction upwards, because everything's bonded by liquidity, or we should. Obviously there could be sellers. Too Spooky could come out tomorrow and say fuck all of you and just rug everything to zero. I don't think he's going to do that, but you never know. But let's see if this resistance line here holds. That's what I'm waiting to see. Will this hold? Could we see some sort of a pump and then dump tomorrow, and then we test this resistance line again? The more we test this resistance line, the more we're going to want to bounce back up. So I'm starting to see, possibly, like I've said before, I just kind of looked for those curve patterns in the graph. Could we be starting to see that flattening out of the curve? Could this start to be the bottom here? And then could we start working our way back up into testing this level here? Anyway, guys, that's about it for the video. I just wanted to go over a quick Dick with Butt price update and some stuff going on with the MEXC exchange listing. Now, as always, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe if you want more of this kind of content. And hopefully I will see you guys all tomorrow with something absolutely insane. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything else other than that. Also, as always, guys, none of this is financial advice. Do your own fucking research. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Police searched the wooded area around the Durkey residence. Officer Dick Hertz caught this next footage on his body cam. DurkeyTurkey has yet to be brought into custody, and a bounty has been placed on him, dead or alive. Be warned, the footage you are about to see some viewers might find Disturbing.
Have a call back for 8622 Central. Negative K, nothing further, just 18 Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant K. Alright, so, final arrival. Alright, 10 flight, 6 and 2, 1090.